Hey guys, it's been a while since I made one of these, but I thought this Pdpl team was interesting enough to talk about, so I decided to make a quick team review or analysis or whatever you want to call it. I decided ahead of the draft that I wanted to put together a team with at least 9 usable mons, and ideally 10, but with the tier list and budget that we got, I would be happy with at least 9. So this what you're seeing now is the order in which I drafted, but I thought it would be better to talk about this team by separating the different cores. So let's start with the tier 1s. To give myself a fighting chance against the top heavy teams, I thought it would be very important to get at least 2 tier 1s. So I picked Ogre upon Wellspring, which gave me 2/3 of my Fire Water Grass core, Redirection and a fast physical attacker in just one pick. And in my last pick of the draft, I went for Roaring Moon, which gave me a super flexible mon that can play support with Tailwind, Snarl, Breaking Swipe and Knockoff, or just go on the offense with Acrobatics and all that stuff we all know. The other very important thing to me was to maximize value on all my picks. So I started looking at the tier list, trying to find good value mons and interesting synergies that could maybe make a tier 5 feel like a tier 3 and so on. This is when I landed on the idea of a manual Psy Spam core with tier 2 Meowstic, tier 4 Gardevoir and tier 5 Delphox. I thought this was an interesting core to draft because both Gardevoir and Delphox have answers to the things that usually give Psy Spam a hard time, like Fairy Stab to deal with Dark types and Fire Stab to deal with the Steel types. Plus, because it's not a hard terrain mode, it feels flexible enough that I don't need to commit to using this core strictly as a Psy Spam core. Like for example, I can use Meowstic Delphox as a Sun mode with Photosynthesis Roaring Moon, or I can use Telepathy Gardevoir with the core that we'll talk about next, which is the Disquake core that I have with Iron Treads and Rotom Fan. Treads got a few upgrades in Regulation F with High Horsepower, Hard Press and Supercell Slam, and a fast steel type felt like a really good idea if I was going to draft Roaring Moon so that I could have a reliable counter to fairies. There aren't many fairies in the format that can take a neutral steel damage, and those that can, like Primarina and Tinkaton, can't really take a Supercell Slam or a High Horsepower. It felt like a really good fairy killer to have. In addition, like I said, it can form a pretty interesting Disquake mode with Rotom Fan, Telepathy Gardevoir and Terra Flying Acrobatics Roaring Moon. Now, Rotom Fan was not supposed to be Rotom Fan. I wanted to get Electros instead, but it got sniped, so I had to pick Rotom Fan. It's not too bad because it gives me flying coverage, but Electros would have been a little better because of the next core of the team, which is the Trick Room core, with Poltegeist and Crabominable. I really like this core because it's cheap while being strong on the physical side and special side. Crabominable is not weak to Intimidate because of Hyper Cutter, and it's got the strongest Ice Tap attack in the game with Iron Fist boosted Ice Hammer, which is even stronger than an Icicle Crash from a Chien-Pao. If I had the Electros, that would be another Trick Room mon that could complement Crabominable really well, because it would give me both beam coverage. But I'm fine with just Poltegeist and Crabominable in this core because I still get perfect coverage with Ghost and Fighting. These 9 mons felt pretty usable to me. I feel like I can bring any of them every week and still have good tools to deal with the opponents, but luckily I even found a tier 7 mon that could actually be pretty interesting on my team to round it out, and that is Floette. If you look at Floette's hidden ability, it can synergize really well with Roaring Moon and Iron Threads, because they can consume their booster energies, get a speed boost, and then get a Life Orb or a Choice Band or some other item that I want. In addition, Floette gets Helping Hand. That means that I can lead with booster speed, Iron Threads and Floette, get a speed boost past the Choice Band to the Iron Threads and then click Helping Hand plus Terra Ground Earthquake, which would do insane damage. Or do the same thing with attack boosting Roaring Moon and click Helping Hand, Terra Dragon, Breaking Swipe, and again do a lot of damage to everything on the field. This felt like a really good deal for 5 points, but then I saw yet another ability on Floette that could be really good for another of my tier 1s, which is Flower Veil. Flower Veil means that if I lead Ogerpon in Floette, my Ogerpon cannot be intimidated or get paralyzed or burned or poisoned or icy winded, or take a fake tears for that matter. It's basically a poor man's good as gold on a mon that can't carry Lumberries or Clear Amulets or anything of the sort. All of this for just 5 points. That felt like a no-brainer to me. So with that, I got my team of 10 that I feel like I can bring reliably throughout the season. I have no idea if this team will actually be good, but on paper I'm pretty happy with it. Hope you liked the video and thanks for watching.